Hi, I'm Tess Schultz with Tulip Square, and today we're going to make this English garden table runner. This is a really fun runner to make. It's our pattern number 589, the English garden table runner. We've made it in a few different color combinations, and it always turns out really nice. It's a fun pattern to make. Now, before we get started, I just have a quick note about our free 24-hour pattern promotions that we've been doing lately. So this is another one. This is normally a paid pattern, and for the next 24 hours from the time that the video goes up, it will be free for you. Now the link to the pattern will be in the video this time. We're doing it that way because the whole point of offering you the free pattern is so that you don't have to pay for a pattern in order to follow along with the video. However, if you're not going to watch the video, then we're not going to be able to continue to offer you the free patterns. What we ask is that you watch the entire video and then go download the pattern. That really helps our channel, and that will allow us to continue to give you the 24-hour free patterns. That said, let's go make a table runner. So the first thing we do is take our two long strips of fabric and sew them together in pairs. Now we're going to take these and press them toward the darker color. I'm going to press them toward the pink color, and then we're going to cut these into 2-inch wide pieces. So we'll have a total of 32 2-inch wide chunks. Okay, now we have 32 of these pieces that we took. Press that open and we cut that strip into 2-inch pieces. So now we'll take these and we're going to pair them up like so and stitch them into checkerboards. I take each pair, flip one around, turn it over. Make sure those seams are nestled nicely like that. And sew a bunch of checkerboards together. Okay, these are all pressed open, and now we will take the print squares and we'll sew one of these to each of that. Now, make sure that you keep your squares all in the direction that it shows on the pattern. This is very important if you want them to line up correctly. So where the pattern says orange, mine is pink. So you want to make sure the pink is at the bottom there. Okay. I'll line that up and sew those together. And we're going to do that with all of these. Now you're going to take 7 of these. You're going to sew another checkered square to the other side. I'm going to leave 2 of them alone because they will become the end pieces a little later. Now, you want to make sure this is in the same direction as this. See that? Pink this way, pink this way. You do not want it this way. It's going to screw up the whole thing. Don't put it this way. Put it this way. Now we take 5 of these strips. 5 of them get a white block sewn to each end. 2 of them get a white block sewn on one end, and then these 2 pieces that we made earlier get 1 white one sewn to this end. And on these pieces, you want to sew it to the checkered end. Sew the white square to the checkered end only. Going back and getting my first 5 so that I can sew the white square to the other end. I'm going to go press all of these and then I will show you the pieces we have. Okay, now we have 5 of these long strips, 2 of these medium strips, and 2 of these shorter strips. We have 9 strips total. Now we're going to take our triangle pieces and we're going to sew one to the white end of each of these, just like that. Line it up here, line it up here, sew right across. This little corner will stick off, that's fine. Make sure you line it up on the long edges. So you're going to sew one of those here, here, here. All 9 of these pieces. Lined up nicely along the top and along the side. And this point will stick off, and that's exactly how it should be. Now we're going to take the 5 longest ones, the 5 strips that had the white square at each end, and just to those ones we're going to sew another triangle to the other end. So it's going to go the same way, lined up with the top and lined up with the side. That way when you sew it and flip it open, it's going to be the opposite. See, this one goes that way, this one goes this way. Just to the longest 5. You're going to have 2 of these triangles left, and we'll use those in a minute. Now, we're going to take 2 of these big white rectangles, and we're going to sew the last 2 triangles to the end of that, just like we did with the other piece. Line it up with the top and the side. And then we're going to take our squares, same color as the triangles, and sew them to the other end, these 2 rectangles. Now we're going to take all of this stuff and go press everything, and we will be right back to assemble all these strips together. Okay, now we have all our pieces. Here we have the 5, these longest ones with a triangle at each end. 2 of these medium ones, 2 of these shorter ones, and 2 of these white ends. So, first thing we do, set these, we'll set the 5 longest ones aside, and we'll set these ends aside. Take these, and we line them up like so. Take one of the medium length, and one of the next shorter length. And we line them up so that the square edges are even with each other, and everything else should line up with it. So the triangle goes over the white square. Sew that together like this. Make sure all your little seams nestle together nicely. Do that one more time. Line up these edges so they're even with each other. These seams should line up with each other as well. Over. Nest your seams together. Sew that 1/4 inch seam. Now you have 2 pieces that look like that, and you're going to take each one of those and our final 2 white rectangles. Sew that rectangle to the end, right here. Now we're going to press these, and then we will start stitching all of the strips together. Okay, now we have our 2 end pieces. We're going to take one and set it aside. We're going to take this piece, we're going to start sewing our strips, the long strips, onto this piece. You're going to line it up so that all the little seams line up, and a white square always goes under the yellow triangle, and this triangle will attach to the rectangle at the other end. Line up all your seams Now we're going to take the next stripe and line it up the same way. So the yellow triangle goes under the white square. The white square goes under the yellow triangle. So the yellow triangles will form a line down either side. Nest all your seams together. Press that, and then we're just going to keep adding these one at a time until all of these 5 long strips are all sewn on. Okay? So here's where we started with our end piece with the rectangle. And now we've sewn on all of our strips, our long strips. Now we're going to sew on the other end piece. We're going to take this end piece with the rectangle, the white rectangle there. We're going to line that up, line up the white square and triangle, line up the white rectangle and triangle. Sew those together. Sew that. And then we'll press this, and then we'll sew the last 2 pieces on. Okay, now to finish this off, at each end, we're going to sew one of these. The rectangle lines up with the yellow square. This square lines up with the yellow triangle. Make sure you line up these seams right here. I'm going to sew that right on there. And I'm going to do the same exact thing on the other end. And now we're going to do the same thing to the other end. Line this up just like that. And that's it. I'm going to press these. That is your runner. And there you have it. There's your English garden table runner. It's a fun pattern to put together, isn't it? And the link to the pattern is on the screen right now, so go ahead and download that. After the first 24 hours, it will go back to its regular price, so make sure you subscribe to our channel and hit that little bell to be notified every time we put up a new video. That way you won't miss the 24-hour preview. Don't forget, all we ask is that you watch the whole video, then download the pattern. So if you liked today's video, make sure you hit that like button, and we will see you next week. Happy sewing!